Hello. Welcome and welcome back to T is for Temidayo. It is 10:20 p.m. It is actually January 15, 2026. I know I said it was January 15, 2026 yesterday, but what had happened was my laptop is still on Eastern time, and so I reminded myself to move the hour back because right now my clock says 11:21 p.m., but it's actually 10:21 p.m. because I'm in a different time zone. So I remembered that part. But what I forgot was the date. So it was like the wrong date. Anyway, today is January 15, 2026. It is day 46 officially. Yesterday was day 45. Today is day 46 of 365 days of tea for me. Let's get started. So today we're going to do, I don't usually do this, but we're going to do our abdomen because it's late in the day and I know I'm going to go straight to bed, so I don't have to worry about moving my body too much and it getting super dry. So if it gets dry, it'll just dry overnight and then I will take care of it in the morning. Right, now I have to remember not to rub this in too much, especially if I put product on my skin. In the last 8 hours, I took a shower around 2 p.m. It is 10, so it has been actually 8 hours since I took a shower, but I know my skin is not technically clean in that sense where there's no product on it, so I hope this is going to get absorbed. I'll just let that fan out for a little bit while I pat the rest in. Make sure my gloves are completely dry. All right, we're done. Okay, so today we can talk about a little bit of gender euphoria that I've been experiencing since I've been in Chicago. And it's so interesting because when I first started here a couple days ago, I was not feeling this euphoria. I was feeling quite the opposite, a little bit of dysphoria. And now we've come a full 180, which is great. So, the gender euphoria. Yesterday, while we were prepping in the what is it called? The dressing room for the show that I was doing last night, we had about a half an hour of time where we were all prepping in the same two dressing rooms. We had binary dressing rooms. So we had a women's dressing room essentially and a men's dressing room. And I knew, like, no one's going to judge me if I'm going into the women's dressing room. Because again, sometimes I use the women's restroom. I'm often using the women's restroom only because I understand to the world at this stage in my medical transition, how I appear may or may not be giving them women's restroom. That's all I'll say about that. And sometimes I go into the men's restroom. I have often gone into the men's dressing rooms and men's restrooms. Specifically, I remember one time, maybe I'll tell this tomorrow because I want to learn how to stay on one topic at a time. So I'll tell you what happened tomorrow because there have been many instances where before even, any of this medical transition, medical coming out, any kind of coming out, T for T coming out, happened, I loved to use a men's restroom. Because at the end of the day, it's just, pee and poop, to be quite frank. Anyway, so we are in what we have essentially deemed the men's dressing room because the other room has two folks in it, the person reading stage directions, and then one of the actors playing one of the characters, and these are the only two cis women in the cast. The rest of the 5 of us are masculine, and for myself, transmasculine. And so we're in the dressing room. Myself, the 4 other actors, all of whom essentially identify as cis men, all of whom are probably at least 45 years old. I don't know what it is lately, but I have been in these casts where I am significantly younger than the rest of my cast. Okay, you know what? It just gives me a chance to be baby, which is fine. Um, so we're in the dressing room and they're chatting. They're shooting the ish. They are bantering back and forth with each other. One, because a lot of them know each other, they've done other shows together, they have a rapport, and so they feel really comfortable with each other. And two, because in the script, that's what we're doing a lot of. We're bantering with each other. We are playing the dozens, we are joning, we are, whatever you want to call it. Like we come at each other, we're doing it. And so it feels good to practice it in real life, in a method acting sort of way so that it can be translated very easily on stage and feel really organic and really natural. And then on top of that, number three, these are Black men of a certain age. And, you know, that comes with a part of the culture. And I'm sure many cultures do it. And one of those cultures is like the culture of Black men in the diaspora, which is bad. And I felt myself often like looking around the room, just being like, I'm here, I'm in my little tank top, my little ribbed tank, and my blue jeans and my Tims. And I'm also like putting on a little bit of concealer. And I'm also darkening my eyebrows with a little bit of mascara and darkening my eyelashes with a little bit of mascara. Because I still want to give, stage face. And I'm still getting to be in the room, enjoying their banter, the way that they're communicating with each other. I was able to put a couple of little jokes in there little by little, which felt really nice. At one point, one of the actors was talking about the actor who plays my dad in the show has an IRL child who also happens to be named Temidayo, which was nuts. Because he was like, "Oh yeah, my son's name is Temidayo," and I was like, "No, your son's name is Houston, because Houston is the name of the character that I play in the show." And he was like, "No, no, no, my son's name is Temidayo," and I was like, "Oh, that name's said by anybody else in a long time." And so I've been spending, a little bit of extra time kind of building our relationship in real life so that it once again can translate to us being on stage. And one of the other actors who's playing one of, my dad's friends, has just really been coming at him. And at one point he was talking about how he was going to be like babysitting my dad's IRL child, Temidayo. And I walked up to the actor playing my father in the show and I said, "Don't let that man near your children." And the whole room started laughing, and they were like, "Absolutely, you get it, because if you do it, you gonna have your child joning on you." Da, 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 da. And I was like, I feel so affirmed in the sense like I got a good joke in with the fellas, with the grown people, the grown adults in the room. Me, baby, got a good joke in with the adults in the room, and also it felt really good to just like decide in that moment I was going to do this. I was going to make this very small, courageous act to just be like, I'm going to join in on this bantering. Because even before, again, gender and gender expression aside, like that playing the dozens, bantering, boom, 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 it can be a little bit intimidating. It can be a little bit intimidating to do because it requires a lot of like very quick, on the breath, like wit, which I do have. And also, I'm like, there's a sort of like level of, because I don't know you completely, I don't want to be coming at you too familiarly, to where it gets like awkward energetically between us. So it felt like a good, like, okay, cool. I'm comfortable saying this to you. You're comfortable receiving it from me. And the room, it, like, understands it and enjoys it. So it felt really euphoric to be there, to be my very effervescent, shiny, fruity self in this room of like very kind of masculine men. And I say masculine to be like these men I would identify as masculine in their everyday lives. Like I don't know where they are in the spectrum of queerness or straightness. I know for a fact one of the older gentlemen in the room is queer. But it's not like that's the beginning and the end of it. So yeah, it just felt really nice to be in that space and to be like, there is room for me here too. I don't necessarily need to be in every single men's dressing room for the rest of my career. That's not what I'm really saying. What I really like is having my own dressing room, so I can go and do my witchy stuff, do my rituals, and prepare in silence. And then also know, like, if I knocked on the door, they would let me in. We could chat and we could chew the fat for a little bit before I go back to my sort of little Zen space. That's what I really love. And so for the next show, that's what we're bringing in. We're bringing in me as the star of the show, name on the marquee, with my own dressing room. And then if there are other folks in the cast or whatever, I have an opportunity to banter with them in a room that is outside of my dressing room. Do, 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 do. Yes, that's what we're putting out into the universe. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. T is for Temidayo. Tune in tomorrow when we have another day of 365 days of tea for me. I love you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.